Developer Housemarque is known for its arcade-style titles like Nex Machina and Resogun. Now, the studio is back with its latest title, Returnal, and it's similar in concept to its previous releases. However, this time around, Sony seems to have opened up its bank account and given Housemarque exactly what it needed to create one of the most exciting and intriguing games of 2021. You play as Celine, an Astra scout, as she crash lands on the alien planet of Atropos. Each time she dies, she comes back to life in a seemingly infinite loop, starting at where she crashed her ship. She has to fight her way through different areas while discovering new information about the planet she's on, and also why she's stuck in her infinite rebirth cycle. What I love about the story is how interesting the game's lore is. There are some cutscenes, for example, where Celine enters a version of her house on Atropos, but the story is mostly conveyed through collectibles that you pick up. There are markings called xenoglyphs that provide the backstory of the alien species on the planet, as well as audio logs recorded by previous versions of Celine that tried to fight through Atropos but died along the way. As for the gameplay, Returnal is a roguelike third-person shooter and various items are available as you progress through each biome. The room order in biomes is different when you begin each run, and the items available change too. While only a few weapons can be found at first, as you progress through each biome you'll unlock other kinds of weapons too. There are also pickups that range from restoring your suit's integrity or increasing your weapon proficiency. Each weapon has 1 to 3 randomised traits that need to be unlocked, and a higher weapon proficiency means that they'll unlock quicker as you keep using them. Additionally, there are malignant pickups that have a chance to cause your suit to malfunction if you decide to pick them up. Malfunctions can include things like doing 50% less damage while shooting in the air, or simply just scrambling your map. However, you can get rid of malfunctions by fulfilling requirements assigned to that specific debuff, such as defeating 10 enemies. There are also parasites that you can find and equip onto Celine. Parasites carry 1 positive trait and 1 negative one. For example, a certain parasite could decrease the cost of items at a shop, but its drawback is that every time you pick up a new item, your suit's integrity takes a hit. You can equip multiple parasites at once, and together with the malignant items, these mechanics create an interesting risk and reward system during each playthrough. Suit artifacts and consumable items exist too. They can be found or bought with the game's currency, obolites, from the biome store. Suit artifacts provide useful buffs for Celine, and the consumable items are just as you expect, one-time use items that provide some sort of benefit. Some consumable items also get rid of your current malfunction, or have enemies drop more items for 30 seconds. The weapons feel great, and Returnal uses a similar reload system to the one found in Gears of War, where if you press a trigger down at the right time, your gun will instantly reload. The PlayStation 5's DualSense controller is amazing, where you can hear and feel raindrops through it, and the adaptive triggers add some much needed tension and weight to the overall feel of the moment-to-moment gameplay. Celine also receives a sword early in the game as well, so you can slash enemies up close if needed. Most enemies are unique to each biome, and the game has a surprising amount of variety. They all have different kinds of attacks with varying ranges. Speaking of the different biomes, they each have a different setting and atmosphere. The first is a dark forest with narrow paths, so you have to be careful about dashing or else you'll accidentally fall off the map and take damage. The second biome is a desert one with vast open spaces that allow you to run around enemies if needed. Housemarque did a great job of utilising different environments to make each biome feel unique, both in terms of gameplay and presentation. Speaking of presentation, Returnal is top notch. This is the studio's most graphically intensive game, and it's incredibly how well its signature arcade style translated to an over-the-shoulder third-person shooter. The explosions that occur when taking down enemies look great, and despite the rooms in biomes looking a little bit samey in order to fit within a certain environment, they at least look very pretty. One issue I have with Returnal is I wish it had more consistency. When you die, you start back at the beginning, and you have to start out with your standard pistol again. Ether amounts and weapon proficiency upgrades are permanent, but everything else is lost upon death. I would have preferred if there were a few more things that carried over after death, like being able to start with your favourite weapon or something like that, but such is the roguelike charm. Returnal is inevitably going to draw comparisons to last year's hit Hades. While both are roguelike action games, Returnal is harder and much more unforgiving. Some players are going to be put off by the game's difficulty, but if you like challenging games in the vein of Dark Souls, know that Returnal's boss fights will certainly not disappoint. Returnal is undoubtedly one of Housemarque's best games and is a triumph for the PlayStation 5. The premise is interesting right off the bat, and the way the game feeds narrative breadcrumbs throughout its story made me want to continue on. With the tight gameplay that the studio is known for, along with the intriguing story and blockbuster presentation, Housemarque hits all the right spots. Returnal sits as one of PlayStation's most unique exclusives.